I have a construction business that is up around the $10-15 million turnover. And they also have a subsequent cabinet making business on the side that's up around, about $5 million turnover. The problem is with this business is that their debtors just aren't paying them because they work. And I had a discussion, a one-on-one with the director, and I said, look, we can fund you out of this hole, but so many of your clients are beyond 90 days. Why aren't they paying you? Do you need funding or do you need debt collection? And the response I got back, well, I have relationships with all of these customers. And I said, relationships are great, but sometimes you've got to think about it's not how good the relationship is, it's how good my balance sheet's going to look. What can I do to get paid in these circumstances? And often I find that a director of a company is also the head of sales. He doesn't act as the head of collections. And so often I see that they let things move outside normal trading terms, and we see that their own liquidity is affected. And I'm sure that's something you see, Paul, as well.
I see it all the time. They're good for it. They'll pay when they're due to pay. Yeah, it's that element of, and so especially in the construction space, because what I find, a lot of people in the construction and trade space don't value themselves enough to be able to say, hey, this is due, why are we not receiving payment? And so one of the big things up front is agreeing terms and agreeing what will happen if they don't pay. So to give you a simple example, for us, we send a reminder the day before invoices are due.
It's standard. Look, I've recently done a white paper on a thing called the Dunning process, which is a structured system of doing exactly that. First reminder email goes out 7 days before the payment is due. Next one, 24 hours. 24 hours after the payment is due if it's not received. So you have a structured protocol that you follow so that you can treat all your clients equally, and you can automate this sort of thing in your mail or accounting system. We help avoid that because I just see so many businesses that we look at have these sorts of problems.
I was going to say that preventative measure is fine, but you've got to look at the underlying issue, which is the business owners not valuing themselves enough to be able to say, if you pay late, you won't hear from us, you'll hear from a collection agency.
Yeah. And they just worry I'm going to lose market share. Well, if people don't pay you, if you've got 50 customers and only 25 pay you, the other 25 are a waste of time, space and money. So get rid of them.
That's right.
Because if you're not getting paid, you don't have a business.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't take people on your journey, you go on theirs. And that ends up on their pricing, their way of doing it, their timeline, and generally you get screwed. So you either take them on yours or you go on theirs. Either way, it's up to you. You get to choose that by choosing the right clients. As you say, you can say yes to clients, but if they choose to not pay, they obviously don't value you enough to pay you on time. So are they your people? Potentially no.
Are they the ones you want? Because they're dragging the business down and causing the cash flow issues and stress that you're facing now, only because you don't have the right customers. And to lead a small business, I think you have to be courageous. And courageous means, like I've said, it's sort of lonely sitting at the top, but sometimes you have to make courageous decisions to steer the ship through a stormy sea, which, I see that parallel being very relevant at the moment. And, are you better saying to some customers that aren't paying you, throw them at the debt collector and move on and find other customers that will?